Once you have created the construct to raise an exception, you need to be able to implement it, see it, wrap it around the exception class, the try except block. I'm going to show you how to do that. So what if I want to define my own custom error? And I want to raise it, and I want it as part of the system. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here, I've got an I/O error. If this file is not found, it will basically raise this I/O error, and it will specify, this message telling you that this file, or telling me that this file wasn't found. Well, let's make this right for now. Let me run this at the moment so you can see how this works at the moment. Right here it says cannot read file because filex.txt does not exist. If I change this to file1.txt, everything works fine. So if I go back here, run this, everything works perfectly because file1.txt does exist. Well, let me add a little more caveat to this, if you will. I want to make sure that the file name ends with txt. So I'm going to do if file name ends with txt. This is file name. Right? Ends with is one of the methods associated with the file name object. And I said if it does do that, then I want to open the file and return the lines. Otherwise, if it does not end with txt, I want to raise what's called a value error, and I'm going to say file name must end with .txt, like so. I raise that error, and what's going to end up happening is, if I go over here, change this to DOC, and I change the file name to DOC, which will be passed to read file, which is down here. File1 DOC will be passed in, which does not end with txt, which will raise this error. Let's take a look and see if that's indeed what happens. There you go. It says file name must end with txt. You see that? And you see all this junk, right? You see all this junk coming across because the error was raised and it was not caught over here. The only error I'm catching over there is the I/O error. So I have to properly catch my error and the name of my error, my value error right here. So let's go over here, and we're going to add another except. Except value error as E, and then I'm just going to do right over here, I'm going to say, perhaps I'm going to say a bad file name. I'm going to say wrong extension. Wrong file extension. Save this. Go back over here. Now you see it says wrong file extension. File name must end with txt. That is my value error. So I raised this error intentionally. I raised a value error intentionally, and I supplied it with this message. And here I am basically accepting it, wrong file extension, and then this message is displayed that is saved in the object instance right there. File name must end with txt. That's coming from right there. So that's how you raise an exception in Python.